What's going on out there, fishing fam? Ray Sharifi here with another video. I haven't done something like this in a very long time, but we are going to do a first cast episode today. Today we're casting the Accurate Tern 2 size 400. What I'm super excited about this, I have not used this rod in a long time. This is actually my first surface iron rod ever. It's a Calstar Graphiter 900 light, 15 to 30 pound. And what I'm so excited about having this reel finally matching up with it is I now have a 25 pound surface iron setup. I've been in debate on which reel to get for a while, and this is the Tern 2 400, perfect size for a 25 pound setup. Smaller reel, but just wide enough to still get that packed on there. You have that bulk of the spool that you're not losing a whole lot of line on after your cast. Since it is a 25 pound jig stick, this is a little bit heavier for what I would like to be using in this aspect, because I'm going to be casting a Tady C just because it is a bit windy. And after I kind of feel it out and get a little bit more comfortable, maybe I'll size a little bit more down to like an A1. But for now, we're going to be testing out the Tady C on the Accurate Tern 2 400 Star Drag. Since we do have a little bit of dry of a spool, when casting these things, you will burn your thumb if you're casting a dry spool. Luckily, we do have a little sink right here. Let's give it a little wet. Let down the spool a little bit, dial her in, and get a cast. We spooled up yesterday. We got 300 yards of 40 pound max quattro, topped off with probably about 80 yards of 25 pound triple X monofilament. Might go a little bit tight for the first cast, especially since it's windy. Make sure, get a feel for the rod. All right, first cast, here we go. I think I can back off on the spool a little bit, try to get a real huck out of there. The rod is a little bit stiffer than what I remember, so I might even be able to fish this Tady C pretty regularly with this rod. I might go a little bit lighter of a rod in the near future, but for now, this will be the one that I'm going with. I'm super excited to be having this rod in my hands again. All right, let's see here. Back off on the spool a little bit. Let's see. Not bad for a second cast. I've never ever casted 25 pound for a surface iron. I have casted 30 pound and 40 pound and 50 pound. Don't believe I've casted 60 pound, but this is the first time ever casting 25 pound on a surface iron. So it feels good. It comes off the reel really easily. This rod feels good to have in my hands again. But as far as casting this reel goes, it's smooth. I mean, second cast there and it went pretty good. No backlash still. No backlash. Might be able to loosen up on the spool a little bit more. Winding in, super smooth. Coming in just fine. Not too fast, not too slow. It's got a good feel to it. It feels super solid. Good look to it. I love that silver. Star drag. I love star drag for surface irons, as most people do, but it feels good. Honestly, cast super smooth. Even in the wind, casting just fine. I'm impressed. It's super smooth. It casts smooth. I was worried that it was gonna, because it is a pretty light, small reel, I was worried that the spool was gonna overspool up on me. I might back off on it a little bit more just to see what I can do with it. What I do like about it is it's got ridges on the tensioning knob for the spool. I like that because you can just you have that extra grip, you can dial it in a little bit better, but it does cast super smooth. I was worried with it being a smaller reel that it was gonna backlash on me pretty easily, but so far, no issues at all. Backed off on the spool quite a bit there and still casting fine. Feels good. Honestly, I'm really impressed with it so far. This thing is freaking hucking. Never fished a 25 pound jig stick before, so what I'm excited about this is I now have a specific jig stick setup for barracuda fishing, bonita fishing, calico fishing. Bonita sometimes are pretty damn strong and you can get away with a normal setup. But as far as like having fun with them, just letting them rip drag, I'm excited to have a 25-pound jig stick for casting at fun stuff. Calico bass. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek of what I want to do. I really want to take this thing down to the Sea of Cortez and try to do a spotty special on surface irons only. It might take years to do it, to get enough footage collectively, but that's kind of what I want to do with the 25-pound jig stick, not gonna lie. Otherwise, calico bass, barracuda, near and dear to my heart. Super excited to start casting this at those as well. I almost got to the braid. Backing off on that spool, we're getting far. This thing's freaking hucking. I'm really impressed. I've never casted 25-pound. I know I keep saying that, but I've never casted 25-pound on a surface iron, and it's just coming off the spool, no problem. This honestly is like already becoming one of my favorite surface iron rods, and I haven't even caught a fish on it. Alright, so I actually filmed an outro while we were out there filming and testing out this reel, but for whatever reason the mic cut out on us halfway through filming. So from middle of filming on to the end of the video, it was all too windy to understand what I was saying. So I'm doing my outro here at the house, and I just want to say a big thank you to Accurate Fishing for donating this reel and setting me up with exactly what I've been looking for, a light 25-pound reel that is gonna go a long ways, and I can't wait to put this thing to the test. It's much more capable than just a 25-pound reel. I'll also be fly lining with this reel, fishing like up to 40-pound with it, fly line wise, but it's gonna be an overall really nice casting reel. And I will say, with the internal casting system that they have built into this reel, it casts really well. At the end of the test casting session, I was actually casting a Tady 9 light. This is a discontinued jig, and it is officially the lightest and smallest surface iron that I've ever casted in my life. Tady A1 casted just fine on this. It's a little bit bigger than this, but Tady 9 light, lightest and smallest surface iron I have ever casted in my life. Drag wise, feels incredible. The drag is super smooth. It actually has a twin drag system, which means that there are drag washers on both sides of the spool, which allows it to be extra smooth when drag is coming off of the spool. Overall, this reel feels super smooth. It casts incredibly well. I'm super pleased with how well it casts, and it is literally exactly what I've been looking for. I wanted a reel that a Tady C was basically the biggest I can go on casting it, and you can see the size difference there. Tady C is one of the smallest surface irons that I've casted in my time. I have casted Tady A1s quite a bit, Salis 6X Juniors, even Kicker 15 lights. Kicker 15 lights are getting on the small end as well. A little tiny bit longer than the 9 light, but it is a thin jig. So I am extremely excited to have a reel that is capable to do exactly what I've been dreaming of. I have a lot of plans with this. If possible, I really want to catch a largemouth bass on a surface iron. I want to catch a striper on a surface iron. And as I mentioned before, spotties on the surface iron would be the all-time goal. But overall, what you're going to be seeing with this a lot throughout the time on is going to be calico bass, barracuda, bonita, and pretty much anything else that I can get on the end of this reel. Once again, big thank you to Accurate Fishing Reels for donating this reel, giving me the opportunity to play with it throughout this next coming season. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I haven't done a first cast episode in quite some time, so for those of you that are new, let me know what you thought about it. And for those of you who are returning and know a little bit about what I've been doing for a while, let me know if you enjoyed this making a comeback. As always, please give this video a nice big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time.